want to go out and walk and sweat.
Is that a thing that we're doing? We should totally do that.
Did you put him into a sauna and left him there?
Super vaguely.
Hi there, welcome to the Reading Queens podcast and the official start of season 3. I am excited.
Woo!
Yeah, we are excited for all kinds of reasons. This episode is an exclusive Patreon treatment, is getting an exclusive Patreon treatment as well. So like if you guys are listening to this on Wednesday, you could have listened to it on Monday and watched the video of us recording it and hang out with us. So I will leave a link to our Patreon below, but I just wanted to like get that out of the way really fast.
Part of the Queen's Court.
Yes, exactly. Come be part of the Queen's Court.
Yes, for sure.
Is that a thing that we're doing? We should totally do that.
It is. All of our tiers have names.
What?
Kristin!
Kristen's a little
I
behind.
should totally pay attention. I like it.
Wait, Kristin, I didn't know either, Kristin. Sorry.
Okay.
Thanks, Rose. Well, I actually read it, but I just didn't remember.
Okay, you guys, I actually
hearing it out loud is
I
special.
make announcements, okay? Don't think that I don't actually tell them what's going on. There are announcements. But anyway, by the way, hi, I'm Valia.
I'm Kristin.
I'm Rose.
I'm Stacey.
Yeah, and we're losing our minds already. This is going to be a great episode. It's my favorite. It's fine. But today we are having kind of a bit of a writing author chat, which we haven't done in a while. So I'm excited. We're going to have some specific questions we're going to answer, but then just going to chat about writing and authoring and everything else, because that's who we are. And yeah, let's get started. First of all, how are you? How is life?
Good. In Oregon, it is still rainy and it's June. So come on, son. We want some strawberries.
You can have some of mine.
What, Valia?
Oh, I said you can have some of my sun. It's been over 100 degrees and I'm dying.
If we're like in the high 60s, I'm so excited.
Oh, see, that's like my perfect weather. And
well, it is.
Like I write so much better.
Valia, come here.
It's gonna be warm in Texas too, right?
It is so hot over here, and I love it. And I love the sun, and I want it to beat on my body, and I want to go out and walk and sweat.
This is probably the time of the year.
Very specific.
This is probably the only time of the year I get to brag.
I am in the right state.
77 degrees.
Ooh,
in Ohio.
77.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like, I don't even think it gets to 70, maybe in the middle of the night right now. But when I go to the gym at 6 o'clock, it's like, it was 89 this morning.
Yes, exactly.
So at 6 o'clock, I'm like, okay.
Well,
anyway.
Stacey, we should be at that in the Pacific Northwest, and we will be there. It's going to be soon. I feel it.
Stacey's like, that's okay. No, I just want some rain. I want weather. I miss like actual weather.
Actual weather.
This is what I
still weather.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Change.
What does actual weather mean? Like rain?
Storms.
Like when it changes. You know what I mean?
I
Like
like
when
the
you get
change
like
too, yeah.
rain, when it's like a little bit of gloomy, when it's sunny, when currently it's just been super hot and windy. Like it's been ridiculously windy for some reason. And I'm like, I don't live in California where I went to school because that was windy and I don't want it.
That's
It's funny,
weird.
my 7-year-old son has been saying lately that he wants to move to Arizona because he knows it's warm there.
Okay. Did you tell him how warm?
We'll figure it out. We're not going to move to Arizona. We might move to Florida or somewhere there-ish eventually, but
Oh, well, that's also
humid and-
warm, but humid.
I like it. I like Florida.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay, well, anything else exciting going on besides our weather conversation?
The only other thing exciting going on in my life is I got a Mac. Ooh. Yes, a MacBook Air, and I don't know how to use. I don't know
What
how
color?
to use it. It's rose.
rose gold.
Rose gold, and I
Mine
don't
is
know
too.
how to use it at all, and so I haven't even been using it.
We should
I
chat,
think
Rose, because I went
Rose-
through that last year learning how to use mine. So
I don't know
maybe
what
I
to
can
do.
help.
I open it up and I'm like, what? What's happening here? What do I push? What's? I don't even. I'm frustrated.
It's
YouTube
great,
is your
though.
friend.
Yeah.
Every
It's
time I'm like,
pretty.
wait, how do I do that? YouTube it, Google it, whatever. You'll find something that'll explain it.
She needs to be able to Google though. She doesn't know how to do
You can,
that.
No.
you can just message me because I've I had to learn how to use my Mac last year.
Yes. Okay, good. So I'm going to reach out to you because I am so lost.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
I'm a Mac person. In case nobody knows that, I am Apple product everything, and it's like made my life so much easier. So I'm excited for you.
I'm excited too because I have Apple everything.
She gets through the brain explosion.
Yeah.
You have to get there first. Yeah. Stacey, anything exciting in your life?
So kiddo is out of school now, and hubby and kiddo are at Cedar Point today. So they went.
What's that?
Oh, a roller coaster park.
Ooh,
it's like
fun.
the oldest roller coaster park in the country or something.
Yeah, even I know what that is. That's surprising.
Yeah, it's like historical in the roller coaster.
Really?
It's like a thing.
Is it one of those like wooden roller coasters that they don't make anymore?
They have some old ones, but no. It is just a big park that has some like the biggest roller coasters. They always try to hit their records and stuff for new roller coasters.
Nice.
It's kind of like a Coney Island kind of thing, but with bigger rides. Because it's like on a little island.
Oh, cool.
And there's a beach, and so.
Nice. A beach.
Mm-hmm. But it's in Ohio, so, you know, like it's on Lake Erie. It's not exactly the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's sand, and it's pretty, and it only goes like 2 feet deep until you get out to
That's perfect.
where the boats are. But
Yeah.
There's no waves.
So did they leave you behind because of the podcast?
Yeah, I would have gone today.
I'm sorry. You could have said something.
No, you're fine. We have season tickets, so we just.
Oh, okay. I was like,
it's only an hour away from us.
But... Oh, okay. I didn't know that was that close to you. That's cool. I've never been there. I've been to Six Flags, which everybody's like, oh, it's kind of the same, except it's not on a beach. It's like in the middle of the mountains. Yeah. But that was like one of those things on my list where I'm like, I want to go, and then I just never went when I was in college. Okay. So
I grew up on the East Coast, and there's a bunch of them around there. I've been to multiple Six Flags and King's Dominion and Busch Gardens and all the things.
Do you ride the roller coasters, Stacey?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. You need to see my YouTube channel. We got stuck at the top of one of the tallest roller coasters.
Oh, no. That is terrifying.
We pulled out our phone and we're like, hey. No, I mean, it was scary, but we survived. It's fine.
Okay. It's true. Would you like me to link your YouTube channel?
Oh, yeah.
to this?
We'll link the Got Stuck on Top of Millennial Force video.
Yeah, there you go. That works. Yeah, so nothing exciting going on here. As you can see, I've started to rearrange my bookshelves, so that's happening. It's stressing me out. It's like in disarray right now. But yeah, that's it. That's all I've got. So we're just going to dive into our author-centric episode now. I'm excited. Dive in. Rose is diving in, for those of you who can't see her.
I think she's like rolling.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going. Okay.
She's clawing the screen.
But those of you who are new to our podcast, we are authors. Hello, welcome. And this kind of a topic is fun for us because, like, personally, I just love listening to other authors talk about author things. Like, it just makes me happy and then also inspired. So anytime we can have like a chat like that, it's like really fun for me. So we're just gonna do some frequently asked questions and see where the conversation takes us. So we're gonna go around the room. Kristin's gonna go first and is gonna answer this very important question. What inspired your current project? Talk about your inspiration, please.
Well, for the project that is available, which is the Lilac Plague, I actually read, I don't know if I've ever talked about this before, but I read Shadow and Bone years and years ago, and I had never heard of it because this was before like Bookstagram and all the things. And I thought I had stumbled upon this little known gem. And I contacted my friend. I was like, I just read this book, Shadow and Bone. You're going to love it. You have to read it. And then I Googled it, and it was a New York Times bestseller. So I'm not the only one that loves it. Anyway, so I really, really liked the Russian, you can tell she pulled things from Russian history, and I love history. So I thought I wanted to do something different than English medieval, which is what I had always was my go-to, and I think a lot of other high fantasy authors go to for their inspiration. So I did a couple years probably worth of digging as I was writing into Balkan history. And I didn't realize when I had picked Eastern Europe in that area how closely related it was to Russian history and Russian, like culture. So I learned so much through the process, and I was really delighted to find this. Like I found like a really particular region that I wanted to focus on, and their particular history that I hadn't known. And I thought most of my readers are American. I thought a lot of my American readers wouldn't know it either. And so even though it's fantasy, it does pull in some of those elements. And I thought that was really cool. So anyway, that's the Lilac Plague. And I would say the inspiration was Shadow and Bone.
Wow. That's actually, I don't think you ever shared that before. That's interesting.
Oh, well, there you go. Now you know.
Now I know.
I am I'm a huge Leah Bardugo fan. Like,
yeah.
I was really excited to see when she got picked up by Netflix. And
oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she's the sweetest. She totally deserves it. Like, all the hype and everything. It's like really fun.
That show was so well done.
Mm-hmm. That definitely. I know. I'm like ready for season 2. I want to see where they take it.
Well,
so good.
They have so much depth to the story and the world. I just, obviously I loved books because they helped form an inspiration for my own, even though mine is different and I have different, my magic system and everything is very, very different, but just venturing into a different culture and having the opportunity to learn about it was that I loved that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Rose.
So my series that I actually just completed a few weeks ago is Fae Bloodlines. And it's a 4-book series. And as far as inspiration goes, that's a very hard question for me to answer because I incorporate a lot of my Hispanic culture into my fantasy, and you don't really see that a lot. And so for me, when I started writing my first Fae book, and I was really inspired by all the queens because they had all written a lot of Fae before me. So, I wanted to bring my Hispanic culture into my Fae universe, and, I wanted it to be real, and I wanted it to feel real. And so I needed to figure out a way for me to get my Hispanic characters into fairy, right? Into my Favenly, which is the world that I created. And so in order to do that, I had to write a portal fantasy because I had to have my Fae princess meet my amazing and handsome Hispanic character, Julio, who can see ghosts, and he comes from a long line of curanderos, which is like Hispanic healers that have supernatural powers. And I had to figure out a way to get him into Favenly, and that was the way, because that's how he gets over there with his best friend. And then later on, I have more of his family going into Favenly. And that was hard for me to find inspiration in other books because I haven't really ever seen that. I haven't really seen the Hispanic culture going into the Fae realm. And so if you know something and I don't know, let me know what it is. But I was inspired. I was inspired really by my other queens because they are the ones that sparked that really cool idea of taking my Hispanic culture into Favenly, if that makes sense.
Aww.
Yeah, I mean, you guys inspire me all the time.
Yeah, I feel like the same exact way, so I love it. Stacey.
Okay, so I feel like my brain is split. I'm thinking about 2 different projects. So yeah, I started out with the series that I just completed. It was last year, actually, so it's been a while. It's a Fae series also, and I set out to write. I remember thinking, I think as the more I write, I feel like my process changes and I think a little bit more logically about things sometimes because I have so many different sparks of things, and I feel like I'm just like piecing together different thoughts and ideas that could make a story. Sometimes I have things that are dreams, that are songs. Actually, I'm inspired by songs a lot. So I'll listen to a song and I'll feel something, and I imagine the scene. And sometimes it'll turn into a story. Sometimes it just washes away. And maybe I'll bring it back another day. I don't know. But I remember thinking for the Fae, Fae were kind of the thing at the time, and bully romance and the romance genre were also the thing at the time. And I was like, I could do a Fae bully romance. That would be cool. It didn't end up being a Fae bully romance, but at the time, I was like, that's cool. I could do that. And then I think I talked about this when we did my author interview a while ago. Okay. But one of the initial inspirations for Trial of Thorns was I was thinking about Hunger Games. So in the Hunger Games, there's a scene, I think specifically in the movie, I'm thinking about towards the end when there's like just Cato, Peeta, and Katniss left. And spoilers for Hunger Games. And Cato has like the knife up to Peeta's throat, and he has this moment where he realizes he's gonna lose, and it's like really emotional. I just love that actor. I think he does like such a good job of it. And he's like this desperate moment of, I guess I was gonna lose anyway, and then no, I can still do this. And I remember that moment, and I wanted a relationship between those two people, of like the guy who's gonna win this competition, but then kind of gets betrayed and has that like heartbreak moment where he realizes that, and then they have to work together. So that was like what I centered the whole story around, was that moment and how I wanted to twist it.
That's cool.
I love it. And I feel like you did a good job with that series. So it delivered on the emotional punches.
I like the emotional
Yes, you do like the emotional punches. I do think that as we write, the more we write, the more our inspiration, changes depending. It is very book for book, which is why when we originally like said that we're going to talk about this question, I'm like, okay, pick a project to talk about, because it does change so much. Like my first trilogy was because of a song, you know what I mean? And it's like, and then I had like a dream about another book. So it's like, it's very different. My current one, Moonlight Mate, which just came out, was the weirdest way to get inspired, but also not weird at all, because I feel like it happens a lot more often now. But it was actually my cover designer. She was having, I think it was her cat that was sick or something. And so she did like this flash sale on all these pre-mates that she had. And so I was like, oh, here's a wolf cover. I'm not going to use it, but I will buy it because I wanted to help her, kind of thing. But then the moment I bought it, I had this scene, and this has happened a couple of times with my books. Like usually this is how I've been getting inspired, is when I get like one specific scene between two characters. But this time it was because of a cover, and it was literally this girl in a red dress who's a wolf shifter, and she's like arguing with another wolf shifter who's the alpha, and he's like, why do you like red dresses? And she's like, because they make me feel pretty. Stop asking. And so it's like this like weird scene between two wolf shifters about a dress, and literally like that's where it came from.
I love that.
So is that the cover you're using on your book?
Yep.
No way.
Yep.
Okay,
so
I love it.
That is the cover that I ended up going with. I went with it. We just changed the title, didn't change anything about it. I have 4 covers to go for this series. We have one left that we need to do. So book 2 cover is technically already on Amazon, so you can see it. But my cover designer took my idea with the red dresses and ran with it. And I'm like, yes. And so this whole book, one of the main characteristics is that my very tough, very sassy alpha girl, like she is an alpha female, right? Like she just will not take crap from people. But she loves red dresses and jewelry and like pretty hair and all this stuff, and the wolves just don't get it, because they're like, we don't even like clothes. Like, what is your obsession with dresses? And that dynamic like basically was the foundation for Trinity and Ryland's relationship in my head, because they just drive each other absolutely nuts, like the whole book and the whole series, really. So yeah, so it was like a two-parter, right? I saw this cover, and then in my head I got this like one scene of them yelling at each other, and I'm like, we're going with it.
I love it. Okay, I'm looking at the cover. Hold on. I see it, and I've seen it all over, but where's book 2?
Oh, I mean, it's linked on Amazon, so
Okay,
you should be able to click on the series name.
I mean, I love this cover.
Me too.
It's a beautiful cover.
I was very
love it.
honestly so blessed. My cover designer, first of all, has always been amazing, right? Like, she takes my vision and just like makes it amazing. But the fact that this cover like came to me at the right time. Rose, what is this face?
I'm looking at book 2, and I'm looking at book 2, and I'm like, wow. Wow.
I love it so much. So yeah, and then I have book 3 and 4
Sexy.
covers done, and they're so fun. And I think book 3 cover, she found this specific dress to put on the cover, and I'm like, this dress will confuse Rylan so much that I am literally writing it into the story.
Is it red?
It is red. Yeah,
Okay.
all her dresses are red on every cover. But it's like the way it is, it's not like a regular dress. And for somebody who doesn't understand clothes, like, you know, they would just be like, how does that work exactly? And so, yeah, I'm writing it into the story. I'm very excited.
I know, like what? I'm trying to like visualize a dress that you don't understand. How does it work?
Okay.
Is it like
I will
straps?
show you the cover after we're done.
Ooh.
Okay.
So you can see it.
Are you gonna post it in the Discord?
No.
You have to wait.
Yeah, you have to wait for that. I will post it on Patreon first. I have decided
just
I will
later,
do
though.
it, but it'll be a little bit later because like book 2 is not even out yet. You know,
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
give you guys some kind of incentive to come back.
I love it.
But yeah, so it is really fun, like for me to hear how other stories are inspired. So that's always like really fun. Okay, so number 2 question is, what part of the book is the most fun to write for you, Kristin?
No one will be surprised by this. So the part that I really actually enjoy is a couple things. I love research. No one is surprised.
Yes.
If I'll get tweets from my editor sometimes, and it will just be, Kristin, stop researching. And that's all it will say. And she'll be right. I'll be checking my Twitter, just taking a break from my research. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm writing, girl, I'm writing. And my other favorite part, and I think because in my mind, and I'm an outliner. So by the time I actually get to write my story, I'm super excited. So I love writing the first draft. Like if I could just write first drafts all the time, I would have first drafts put out like once a month.
Wow.
Like I could do that. Like 100,000 words done. I know you guys have talked about how many words that you have typed in a day, and I have never shared mine because it's a lot and no one would believe me, but it is an incredible amount. Once I'm ready to go, I can type really.
Well, tell us.
Yeah. What is it? In a day? What is it?
So when I'm on a roll, I don't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think like 24 hours of typing, it's a lot. I can't even remember, but I think the last time I did it was like 48 hours of writing straight.
Oh my gosh.
And I did like, I think it was about 70,000 words.
70? 70.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, which is, I'm like, I can't remember exactly how many it was because it's been a while, and I should have written it down. But it was when I was doing Rose Court, my second one, and I was super ready to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I get so excited to write the
Yeah.
first draft. I just don't sleep. And I can't sleep until it's done because I'm so excited.
Yeah.
There's an author in my like a local NaNoWriMo group that I met,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like that, where he'll within 3 days he's got double NaNoWriMo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so-
I think he takes off the first week, like he doesn't work
Yeah.
and sleep and like just.
So
he's
the
crazy,
key
but-
for me is that I have to have it really well thought out, and the first draft
Yes.
I try to keep the first draft. I try to snowflake it a little bit, which is where you start with a little and then you grow this story.
Mm-hmm.
And so my outline is usually about it's at least 10,000 words or 18,000 words. And so it's really that outline, it grows from that outline. So I don't know. I maybe it's not 70,000. Maybe it was more like 50,000. I can't remember, but it was a lot. And I don't even know I am publicly sharing that because I do sound like a crazy person. But...
No, I mean, it's not crazy because that's how I write. I've learned that the best way I write is if I just write. So I don't outline, right? But if I sit down and I'm like, okay, I'm going to finish this book, like it takes me 3 to 4 days to write a whole book. And it'll usually be like 50 to 60,000 words, but I do sleep in between. So like, so it's like
I don't even need caffeine. Like I'm like, my energy is just like, I'm just it's crazy. But when you go back and you think, oh, I have to edit this 70,000 word document, it is very overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I've learned, for me, I have many manuscripts from before that I never did because it was just too much to grapple with mentally. Like I have to, edit this 100,000 word document. So now that's why I snowflake. And that's why when I go, I just go, because also with my world building, it's so layered. I have to hold it all in my head. And I just try to keep it really consistent. So things that happen in chapter 1 will come back in chapter 30, and I remember what everything is because I just did it like 6 hours before.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it's fresh. Yeah.
Yeah. That helps a lot because I think that's why I had such a hard time finishing my last trilogy, is because I took such a long break between book 2 and 3 and I don't outline. So I had to like go back and reread it and then try to like get my mindset back into it. And that's why now I'm like, no, I'm just writing like until I'm done. Like there's no breaks.
Yeah. So I love that. And I do outline, and I do have a very significant book Bible. So, but yeah, so that's what I like to do. Research and first draft.
I love it. I love it. Okay, Rose, what is part of the book that you have the most fun writing?
So the thing that I love writing is friendships. So, and I have kind of discovered that about myself because I didn't really realize that at the beginning of my writing, but I love writing friendships. So I can have like this big romance or this big epic, my character needs to save her kingdom, but I always have these really strong, fun friendships. And it's my favorite thing. And I was thinking about it the other day because, I was thinking about the questions for today's podcast. And I was thinking about my love of friendships. And I think, the book that came to my mind right away was The Maze Runner. Because that is a story, dystopian, they're trying to get out of the maze. It's, to me, a story about friendship. And I love all those characters as they were trying to work together, the boys trying to work together, and some of them not together, to get out of the maze, right? And it's just really a story about friendship. And so I think that's where my love of friendship comes from that story. And I'm trying to think of like others where there's a solid core friend group, like a squad, because I think those squad friend groups are so much fun. So
it's like Six of Crows.
Yeah. So I love writing friendships. Like in the Final Life series, I have Dominique and her best friend, Infinity. And to me, Infinity, like, really was a scene stealer because every time she was doing something with Dominique, she was just doing something so ridiculous and funny.
Well, and she's sassy.
Sassy, yeah. And just funny, but still within this realm of these, horrible things happening, she kind of gave the book some levity, right? And so in Fae Bloodlines, I have the same thing with Julio and Manny. And oh man, I am in love with Manny. He is so much fun and he is so ridiculous and he does some of the silliest things and he kind of brings the levity to the Fae Bloodlines. And so every time I have a scene with Manny, I just love it because it's so much fun and such a good break for all the other heaviness that's happening. So friendships, that is my favorite thing to write.
I love it.
Yeah.
You're good at it too, so
it's fun.
Yeah, if you love it, right?
Yeah.
All right, Stacey.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm the opposite of Kristin. I don't like drafting.
Yeah.
I don't like the sitting down to a blank page and typing is not fun. I don't know. It like makes me anxious. I don't know. But it might be a little bit because our processes are so different, because you say you write this full outline. So you're not starting from nothing when you're actually drafting. I don't like to outline. I like to have like a bit. Like I usually know like the first third. And then I go from there.
Do you know the
and
ending?
I figure out the midpoint. No idea.
Me neither. I don't know. I don't even know the third. So Stacey
That is so
me
funny.
there.
I know the
Oh
beginning
my
and the
gosh.
end and nothing else.
Nope.
You know, I usually for the first third, like usually what you write in a blurb, which is what I started doing, is writing like the little summary.
That's my outline.
And I write that, how much that is.
It's my outline
go from
too.
there. Yeah.
That's it. Like, do you build it out a little bit from there, or do you just write the synopsis or like the blurb and then you just start writing the novel?
Yeah, then I start writing. I think it's changing a little bit, but I would write the first chapter, end the blurb, and then leave it for a while and let it sit in my brain and like stew.
Interesting.
And then like the first chapter helps me to get into the character's head.
Yeah.
So I know their motivations a little bit better.
Do you start a story with character? Like, you know the character? I can tell Valia does.
Yeah, at
She
least
knows
the
her
heart of
character.
the, like in my mind, like the vibe of the character at least.
Okay. Yeah. It's just so interesting to hear processes
Yeah.
because I have a story I'm working on right now. I'm working on the plot. I know the target market. I know the vibes I want. I don't have the characters. And I'm like struggling. I'm on the struggle bus. I'm like, who needs to be in this role?
Yep.
But yeah.
See, I think I'm led by emotion. And I think that was like the next part of my answer too, is that my favorite part, and I'm going to sound like a sadist a little bit, but is the heartbreak. Like I love writing
the emotional
that, like,
punches.
ache.
Yes.
Yes. That is my
Yes.
thing. So I actually kind of like the midpoint and the, what's the Dark Night of the Soul? Like that
The
sort
dark
of.
moment.
That's it. That's it. So, so I think I start with the emotions. I don't have to know who the person is on like any specific level. I just have to know where their heart is. And I think that's kind of where.
Oh, that's interesting.
I love that.
That is interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll call you about my story.
She's like, help me figure out who goes here.
I'm like, I don't know age, not gender.
Oh my
like,
gosh, that's
I don't
funny.
know if we're gonna have a crew. Like it's
It-
very rough.
it's a
And
true blank
this is
character.
How stories this is how stories come to be. Like they're all kind of different, and this is it's its own.
That's interesting. So my answer will also not surprise anybody if anybody's read my books, but I love writing fight scenes.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say
is
that.
my thing, yeah. Especially sparring between like my main love interest. Like I think it's in every single book that I've written.
You do it so well.
Yes.
It's my
You do it so
favorite.
well.
Thank you. But yeah, it's funny to me because when I start writing, like I said, it usually has a specific scene. It's usually of my two main characters yelling at each other. So that like one yell conversation kind of gives me everything I need to know about the people. And so then I'm like, okay, these two characters, how'd they get here? And when I sit down to write, I have nothing but I do the back of the book. Like that's my only outline. And once I like have that figured out, because that requires me to name people. And so then I'm like, okay, now it has a name and now it has an argument. Like I have an argument. Now I know who my characters are. How did they get to that argument? And we go from there. And so it's really fun for me because I feel like I'm not really big on description. I don't like description. I skip it a lot when I'm reading. Like I like speed read, like I'll take my time reading like the actual conversation, but then I like speed read the description part. Just because in my head, like my mind processes it really fast. So I needed to process it really fast. And so when I write, I don't spend that extra time on describing like the setting and the forest and the clothes and, all that stuff. I'm getting better at it because I am learning how to be better at it. But at the same time, like, I feel like my stories are very character driven versus like everything else. And they're very action driven. And so for me to spend time with my characters, like I love when they yell at each other and I love when they fight. Like if I can just write that, and I love first drafts, right? Because I can get them out really, really fast, that it's like how many this last book, so Moonlight Maid, it was longer originally because I kept putting basically every single id that I have on my list into it. And then there was just so much fighting. I'm like, nobody's gonna love my characters because all they do is fight. And they still fight a lot because like their relationship is very fighty. But I'm like, oh my goodness, I really have to take out like all these scenes because they're just fighting. So I just put them in book 2. It's fine. He'll just see them later.
But now you're gonna want new ones to put in.
Yeah.
Those are all, you know, you could have like a whole entire document of just fight scenes.
I do.
Yeah, and then just kind of plug them in.
That's
nice.
basically when I start my Scrivener, like, because I write in Scrivener because it's easier for me to just like, because I don't outline. So my only outline is when I like move stuff around with the folders. And I will have like just random scenes written in throughout the folders where it's like fights. And then I'll just put it where I need to and expand that chapter.
So if I need a fight scene, I'll call,
there you
call
go.
you. Cool.
So yeah, they're my favorite. It's the best. And then like every time I watch a movie, I'm like, oh, that's a good fight scene. Oh, that's a good move. And my parents are just like, shh, stop talking and let us enjoy this. I'm like, no, but look how she does that. Look how he does that. Anyway.
I actually do that. I will go back and watch fight scenes and then I'll type them.
Ooh, nice.
Have you seen any TikTok videos like that? Because there's some amazing like sword people
yes,
on TikTok.
Yeah. I love all the self-defense stuff. I'm like, first of all, using it for myself if I ever need to. But second of all, like my girl is going to use this 100%. Yeah. So that part of research I love.
That is why you need to sign up for Krav Maga.
I know, right?
It's the best.
I need to.
Do you have any new bruises, Rose? I forgot about your abuse.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I had a bruise on my like eye right here on the side, like right there. Anyway, it's hardcore, but I haven't been in a while because I was really sick with COVID. And so I still feel like I haven't, like, of course I'm negative. I have been COVID free for a week. But I still feel like I'm just not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel kind of like not myself. But
yeah. It'll be a while, sadly.
Yes.
I'll say Valia had it for like months.
Yeah, I remember. And then I
was like 6 months later, I'm like, I'm still dying.
Yes. And so, and I took a COVID test yesterday because I'm like, okay, maybe I had a rebound. Maybe I have it again because I was feeling really yucky yesterday. And I took a COVID test, and of course I was negative. But, yeah, I just need to shake it. I haven't been able to shake it yet.
Yeah, it just sits.
I like that you're like, it's been a week. I should be better now.
Yeah, yes. No. It's like, I don't have time for this. I'm going to Disney at the end of the month. And so I need to like hurry up with this whole like struggle.
Feeling better. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so my last question for us to like officially discuss is what is something you must have in your writing space in order to write? Kristin. No sleep.
I'm like, should I go first? Because mine is, I'm pretty chaotic in my office. So really what I need is my notes, which I have in like 80 different notebooks, and I have a lot of pens. But it's not like I need a coffee or, you know, like a something. Like Tess has a printed out sheet with inspirational photos of her characters. And I was like,
wow,
that's such a good idea. And her office space looks all classy, like it's Instagram ready all time. Mine looks like a bomb went off. My husband says I like to keep my office looking like a robber came in. So he's like, how do you find anything? I'm like, don't touch anything.
Right.
I know where everything is.
That is funny.
So for me, it's just, I have to have access to my massive amounts of notes. Like even last night we were watching a show and I grabbed my phone because they were talking about how to survive in the jungle. And I was like, I need all my notes. So I have a like jungle survival notes, and I was like adding to my jungle survival notes because research, it's my favorite. So yeah. And the sad thing is I knew exactly where my jungle survival notes were right in my phone, and I could add to them. So, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Welcome to my
But also not
everybody on
surprising
this
at all.
is gonna know way more about me than they wanted to know. But yeah.
It makes sense, so.
Did you hear Stacey's question? Do you watch Naked and Afraid?
No.
Do you know what it is?
Jungle survival.
Yeah,
You need to watch
What's
it.
the one?
It's horrifying.
We're watching we watch a lot of Bear Grylls, and then now we watched Alone, and then we're watching an Amazon, I think it's on.
What is
it's
Alone?
On Disney Plus. It's where they have like 7 seasons, and it's Colby from Survivor is the host. I think it's called Alone.
Oh, okay.
And they have people up like in the Arctic Circle, usually in Canada, and they are by themselves and they're their own film crew. It is hard. It's hardcore. I have stories about that. Crying, like people in my household crying because of things they witnessed.
Oh my goodness.
Really?
Not my boys, visitors who didn't know what they were walking into when they came over to our house.
They weren't prepared.
We're like, we watch survival shows. And so, so this was an Amazon one. And my boys, so I have kids, and they were discussing the difference between what Bear Grylls would do in that situation versus this guy. And I was over there just making frantic notes.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I feel like all this should just be cut out, Valia.
No.
Like random.
Why?
Like,
this is just awesome.
Life.
No.
Right. Okay. Anyway, Rose, you go.
Okay, so I am currently without an office because my precious daughter is here until she moves to San Francisco. She moves August the 1st, but she's been here since she graduated from college, which was 2 Mays ago. And so she's in the office with all her big setup, right? And so I'm pointing down at this desk, and it goes up and down, but it's the size of a little bit more than my laptop, so it's small, right? And it's on wheels, and I can wheel it around the house. And so sometimes I'm in this room, sometimes I'm in the kitchen or my bedroom or whatever. I can't keep a lot of stuff on here. So all I have, and I'm going to show you because I actually have it right now, is my protein bar from Beachbody and water. That's it. That's all I need. But I roll around, so I don't know what that means. But
It means you just grab stuff when you need it.
yeah, I roll around, and sometimes I'm standing up, sometimes I'm sitting down, and then of course I always have Penny, who's wanting my attention, and she's in the other room right now. So I always have my water, my little snack, my protein bar, and Penny.
Penny is Rose's dog, for anybody that doesn't know.
Everyone needs to go to my Instagram or my TikTok because you'll see a lot of Penny.
Yes.
You won't see any of Daisy. I have another dog too, but she doesn't get a lot of FaceTime because she is terrified of the camera. Like if I hold up my phone, like to take a picture of her, she'll like slink away and like kind of hover. Like I don't know what she thinks is gonna happen.
Wow.
So I just kind of roll around the house, grabbing the stuff that I need, which is not a lot. I don't have a lot of notes because I don't do an outline. I am a pantser. I do have a lot of notes though on my laptop. So I'll pull up my style sheet if I need to look at something. And that's basically it. I'm pretty easy. I don't know. Low maintenance.
It works.
Yeah.
It works for you. That's all that
And neat
matters.
and clean too.
It's pretty neat. Yeah. So
She doesn't have a desk to
I don't
have
have
a bomb go off on.
I don't have anything
Yeah.
on here. Yeah.
I'm looking around my office area going,
That's funny. It's okay. We can't see it. It's fine.
I was gonna say what I see is just a blank wall.
Yeah,
that's right. That's what
She's
she's
like,
like.
you
Yeah.
did that on
It's so
purpose.
neat and tidy. It's like my
Oh
thing.
my gosh.
Well,
that's
also
funny.
my husband's out of town, and I am very tempted to take everything out of my office and rip the floors out.
What? Okay. backstory.
My husband does
my
construction.
writing space is a floor.
My husband does construction, but he's like, we're not remodeling on this house. So, but if he comes home and the floors are ripped out, like he has to help me put them back together. Right?
I dare you to do it. Will you do it?
That's not passive aggressive.
I dare you. Kristin,
well, normally
do it.
Right? Normally I just am like, hey, honey, you take it all out. Also be careful with the baseboards because I want them to go back in because they're nice baseboards. But he is refusing, and he usually will just like, if I'm like, let's remodel the kitchen, he's usually like, okay. So we've been married for over 20 years. So this is the first time he's like, how about we take a break? And I'm like, wait, I don't understand.
You're like, what? Who are you?
Different kitchen. Like anyway, I'm off track. Sorry, go ahead, Stacey.
I think my answer to the question is the thing that I need in order to write is my computer, and that's it.
Easy.
Anywhere. I'll be in bed, type in. I'll be we have an office kind of, but it's like a shared office, and I'm at the kitchen table more often than anything. Go to Panera Bread. If I have my computer, I'm good to go. That's it.
Wow.
I don't need music, but I usually use music. I don't need coffee, but I like coffee, so I have coffee a lot. But that's it.
Oh, that's the other thing I was going to say when I saw
Literally.
this. I was like, I need silence. Uninterrupted for 4 hours.
See, I think silence maybe is bad.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Like, because there's a lot of writers who need like white noise or they need music. And I'm like, if it is not silent for 4 hours, then yeah.
That's funny. I am apparently high maintenance, but I am okay with it. No, for the longest time I didn't have an office, and now that I do, I like try to make it as much as my space as possible kind of thing when I write, just because that way it's like I live in my office now because I work full time, and so I do marketing, I do other stuff and whatever, and so it's like when it's time to write, I try to do certain things to make sure that my brain is like, it's time to write now kind of thing. So one of the things that I do now is like Jurassic Park Rain. It's a 3-hour YouTube. It's literally rain noise in Jurassic Park, so you just hear like the little dinosaurs roar every now and then. It's my most favorite thing ever. It's just on repeat. I don't have to have the headphones on. It just needs to be, in the background. I always try to get I will turn on my fairy lights that you can't see over here. They're next to me right here. And then and then everything goes dark on my screen. I will turn everything off, and I will do like that mode on Scrivener. I think Word does it too, where it's like no interruptions. So you can focus with the noise. And I always have like a notebook with a pen just in case I want to jot something down next to me, but that's not a necessity. But yeah, I've started doing that where I'm like, okay, if I'm writing, this is what I'm going to do. And it helps to get my brain out of the business mode into the creative mode a little bit more. And I do need coffee, 100%. I just need a drink. I need to make sure that there's a drink here so that I'm not interrupting myself and getting up to go get it. Because I do get up. I do have a stand desk now, so that helps a lot because I don't have to leave my office to stretch and whatever. I can just literally lift it and keep typing if I have my water here and stuff like that. So a little high maintenance, but I'm okay with it, so it's fine.
I think that's awesome.
It's taken a long time to get here. I've been writing for over 10 years, and this is the first time where I'm like, okay, I can actually do this full time, and I can actually do this the proper way where I'm setting time aside and, all this stuff. Because as chaotic as I am when I'm writing, I plan every minute of every day. I have to have structure everywhere else, but when I write, it's just chaos. And so I'm okay with that if I prepare myself for chaos by turning on my Jurassic Park, having my water and my fairy lights on,
Nice.
I love it.
Are you excited for Jurassic World this weekend?
I am going on Thursday night. Thank you very much. We are
that's a yes.
That is a 100% yes. Are you kidding me? My most viral TikTok is literally me watching the trailer, okay? I woke up that morning and I was like, everybody come see this trailer. My mom walked into my office to say good morning and I was like, oh my gosh, come here. And she's like, oh, what's going on? You're so excited to see me. I'm like, no, just watch this trailer. she's like, I thought you were excited to see me. I'm like, I am. Please watch the trailer. But
I hope it does not disappoint. That's all I have to say. Please let it be good.
Here's my thing, okay? Everybody hated Jurassic World 2. Well, Fallen Kingdom. Everybody did. And I loved it because it just had everything that it's like if you look at it as the original trilogy, the first movie mirrors the first, the second movie mirrors the second, and the third movie mirrors the third. So like the third movie will probably be disappointing to a lot of people who are super critical, but I'm gonna have a good time because it's gonna have all my favorite actors, all my favorite dinosaurs, and that's all I need. Like, they're my comfort movies, so I'm just excited. Okay,
I am so excited that the original characters are going to be in that movie. I am so excited. Yeah.
I know.
And they look so great. My gosh.
They do.
Yes.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I can talk about that whole thing for a whole episode.
I think we're going Sunday.
Yeah? Nice.
I work Thursday, hubby works Friday, I work Saturday. Sunday.
Nice. So Arizona has, or at least Phoenix has, like the Sin 1. It's like 80 feet. It's like the biggest movie theater screen around. I don't know if it's the biggest in the States or if it's just the biggest in this state, but that's where we're seeing it.
Nice.
So I am so ready and excited. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry.
I want to see it this weekend. However, I also want to see Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, that was so good.
I haven't seen it yet, and I have to see that first.
Kristin says talk to me, Goose. So
nice.
She is
exactly.
on top of it.
I have got to see that movie. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I highly recommend.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. That side conversation happened, but I do think we'll wrap it up here. If you guys have any other questions that we didn't cover, because I mean we only covered 3 questions, but ask us on our Instagram at Reading Queens Pod, and then make sure to check out our Patreon. I will link this below, everything below. Yeah, I'm excited for our Patreon. I'm excited to do more of these kind of conversations too. We'll probably do more writing talks. If you guys want more writing talks, also let us know. But yeah, also before you go, please give us a follow on your favorite podcast platform and leave a star rating or a review, and then tell everybody to come hang out with us, because obviously we have fun and
we're awesome,
we're amazing, and yeah, let's do this. So yeah, next episode,
Wonderful Chaos.
Wednesday, Wonderful Chaos. We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.